So are we going wireless?
Apparently.
Are the meters moving? Are the meters
I don't
moving?
know. Are the meters
We have
moving?
audio.
Well, it knocked it out.
Hi. X is on the floor. Okay. Shoo. Hi, viewers. We have audio.
Be
I
careful
hope.
what you wish for.
Someone confirm, please.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
Yay, thanks, Ben. Apparently, I was crawling around under the desk a while ago, and
We don't
There's-
need this wire.
well, no, there's two there's two audio wires that come together as a male and a female, right approximately under the mixer. And I traced it back from the video PC because it's getting from line in, and I'm like, do, white wire. Hey, white wire's just kind of hanging here doing nothing. And then I had to remember, well, oh, here's a black wire that is doing nothing also. Let's put them together.
Yeah.
We did
Make
not need
everybody
the
happy.
big book of... Here, I'll bring down his mic down there. We did not need the big book of Tascam owner's manual. Okay. Shoo. Let's do this show. Thank you for letting us know there was no audio. That would have been a complete waste of time. Again. Well, not complete. We would have still had the audio.
Hey, look,
Yes.
on the plus side, they got to at least look at us.
Yeah.
Whatever that's
a
worth.
blank wall for a few seconds. That's about as exciting as the show gets. Like staring at a blank wall.
Right.
Da-da-da. Yeah, somehow I uncoupled the male and the female. Okay. Big red record button being pressed
Okay.
now. Technorama episode 479, The Boombox Brothers.
Good morning, folks. This is your captain speaking.
Technorama.
Remember when?
Technorama.
On this day in tech history.
Tech.
And now, the news. What the chuck?
Technorama.
Welcome to Blockhead Video.
I'm looking for a boombox with dual dubbing cassette deck and AM/FM shortwave bands.
Over there, in the media corner.
Technorama.
Hold my beer and watch this. Unfasten your seatbelts and disregard all safety rules. Here are your flight crew, Chuck and Craig.
Welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time listening to the show or watching, thank you very much for joining us. I always forget about that last part. We've only been doing video for, what, like
I know.
6-7 years?
Yeah, way too long, apparently.
If you are a returning listener/viewer, welcome back. We appreciate giving us your time. I am Chuck Tomasi, and with me, as always, is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
Why, I'm fine. I'm great, I think.
Things are much better now that we have the audio connected to the video feed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think,
Can I blame it
Yeah,
on the
but-
cats this time?
yeah.
They're probably under the desk going,
It's their fault.
playing with the
Hey,
wires.
they're like, this is the way we can take over the world.
The podcats strike again.
The podcasts.
You should see
Well-
Todd. He's in here like 6 days a week just sitting there in front of a microphone going, is it showtime? Is it showtime?
He's waiting. And then you kick him out when the show starts.
That's right.
Hey, great, it's time to... Oh, man.
Oh, and speaking of cats, deepest sympathies to you, Craig, for losing
Oh.
Andrew.
Yes, thank you.
How old was he?
We had him for 15 years, so he's about 15.
Wow. That's an old cat. Okay, Holly's probably got a few years left in her.
Yeah, and he had diabetes for about the last 3 years, so
Oh, that's the cat. Every week you said you had to go shoot the cat.
yeah, pretty much. So it was like 10 at 10, 10 in the morning, 10 in the evening, and there towards the end he was off on and off the scale. It was crazy, but he had a good life. Yeah, I'll tell you a quick story real quick. I came home late one night and I heard meowing. We don't let our cats out, so I heard meowing and I was like, what is this? And I was standing on the front porch and I look around. Sure enough, there's a kitten. And he was dirty and had like a little V8 foil tabs that on the cans,
Yeah.
had that kind of stuck on him, and he was dirty. And so I brought him in, and I had my wife convinced we were going to find this cat at home. It's a cute little white kitten, no problem. Well, Kim's grandmother lived with us, and the next morning she gets up, sees the kitten, and what does she say? Oh, look, you got me a kitten. Needless to say, he stayed with us, and we kept him for 15 years. So, good cat.
We will miss Andrew. He's been on the show a few times.
I think so. And he's also very photogenic.
Yep.
I could barely take a bad picture of him. I mean, it's hard to do.
We will miss him. All right, let's go on with the rest of our show. Coming up in this episode, we have Italian students turning trash into cash. We have possible uses for the Chernobyl site. And a new card game from an old computer game. Stick around.
Trash into cash, my favorite game.
Helping to build the career you deserve. Take control of your career by listening to Career Opportunities, a twice-weekly podcast covering the challenges of building a career in the 21st century. Visit welchwright.com, WELCHWRITE.com. There you can explore over 300 shows, including exclusive interviews with workers, managers, and experts of all sorts. Subscribe to Career Opportunities today. It's free and you'll receive each new show automatically. Visit welchwright.com and start building the career you deserve today.
This is Bud Packer, formerly Division Chief for the Delta Launch Operations Division at Kennedy Space Center, and you're listening to Chuck and Craig on Technorama.
Speaking of another person who's no longer with us, Bud Thacker. Hey, we got that video feed fixed right before the show started. Thank goodness I had the schematic map of how this studio is all wired up. Oops, it was upside down. There. Which I did a few months ago. So I knew what was connected to what. But I haven't figured out what this USB cable is for. It's just not... There's a loose hanging USB cable. I think it's for the camera that I have to keep swapping in and out whenever somebody's on the video feed as a guest.
I remember climbing behind a desk one time to swap out cable or something, and every time I would plug one in, I'd move my hand and it popped another one out. I'm like, there's just too many cables back here.
Like that scene from A Christmas Story where he's got all the outlets plugged into the wall. Well, just one too many things, and the thing looks like a fire hazard ready to happen.
It was.
We have feedback this week.
Okay, finally. Hey, let's play the music. Letters.
Oh, we got
letters.
We get your letters every day.
Letters.
Mail today. Reach right in and pull one out.
Hey, look at me.
Those letters. I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy.
Mail today.
Hey, Chuck.
Yes?
Hey, Chuck. What is your favorite letter?
Letter from Paul to the Corinthians. Dear Corinthians, how's it going?
Yeah.
If only it were that easy to read. We have a voicemail from Jack Jaffe. Well, I should say a partial voicemail. Maybe he'll send us the rest of the story next week.
Hey guys, it's Jack Jaffe, aka Trigger Overdrive, if those remember that. Anyway, Craig seemed a little interested in it, because he got the Google Cardboard. I went and got the Gear VR from Oculus, which is, I guess, this stuff's kind of old. It's been around for a while, but I got a new phone, so I figured I'd pop it in and try it out. And it's really cool. It is. It actually got past my Jaded, and my Jaded is strong. Now, it's not exactly the step to, like, where VR is going to be the thing. It's not. It hasn't gone beyond still kind of a carnival ride attraction. I don't necessarily see people really strapping one of these suckers on their face and really getting into an evening's worth of entertainment. Not like other stuff. I mean, you're looking at augmented reality games or whatever. Pokemon Go has really taken off. Obviously, you guys did a whole show on that, and I got to listen to that show.
Sort of.
But it's cool. I mean, the fact that they're able to pack a really workable, feasible VR system into what is essentially the phone you already have in your pocket is really, really impressive. The Gear VR stuff.
And that's where it ends.
Oh.
Hopefully it didn't drive off the road. But we'll
Yeah.
be interested
Anyway,
to hear the rest of his review.
He was playing some or putting up some videos on Facebook showing him using it and talking about it. And it was kind of neat. There was the Netflix app, which I've seen videos demonstrating it. It looks like you're sitting in a living room, so you can like
What?
move your head around. Yeah, it looks like you're sitting in a living room and there's a
wait,
huge
what?
screen.
What's the benefit of that? I mean, why would you want to watch a VR of a fake living room when you're watching a movie? I suppose if you're on a plane, it makes you feel like you're more at home. What's up with
Yeah,
that?
well, see, the deal is, and I think this is what he's trying to overcome. Jack's a truck driver,
Right.
so if he's going to watch a movie or something while he's in his bunk, he's got a laptop, screen. So I think what he was wanting was something to close off his peripheral, so when he watched a movie, it looked like he was looking at a decent sized screen, which inside VR would be, because it's closer to your
You
face.
can't just hold the laptop closer to your face.
No, just get a tablet, Jack. No, but so I think that's what that's what he's looking for. Anyway, it has a virtual living room, as part of the experience.
Is there
I
like a
don't know that
virtual
part
cat
is-
over there and virtual beer over
Could.
there?
Well, there's like windows. There's like windows. You can see the sky outside, but there's like a.
Wait, if I'm watching a movie, I don't want to see the sky. I want it dark.
Well, I mean, I think it shows like a night scene. Anyway, I don't know. It's kind of neat. But I've used the Google Cardboard. Hold on a second. Let me get it for you. 1 second. Stop it. So the Google Cardboard, I happen to have the R2D2 version here. You can
Yes.
see it on the webcam. And I like it because it was cheap. As a matter of fact, this was free. So, but it does similar things to what he does, what he's talking about. You slide your phone right in there, and you can see the screen through the two eyes, or the two lenses. It works okay.
So it's a 3D?
I don't know. It doesn't do well. I guess you can kind of do 3D. Yeah, you're looking around. I have to hold it to my face and
So my
and look
question,
around. There's no
but,
strap.
but there's no depth of field. You don't have objects in front of each other. It's not dual camera,
exactly.
unless the video content was that way.
There may be some 3D apps. I don't know, but I haven't really tried
Okay.
anything like that.
I
But
was
no, it's-
I was looking at some. Does anybody sell a mobile phone that has cameras that are the distance apart as your eyeballs?
There have been some over time with a 3D camera. My brother had one, and it was okay. I mean, actually, it took some decent 3D pictures, but that's that's all you can really do with it.
Well, you could do 3D video.
You
Right.
can. Yeah. Oh, you've been watching Mr. Robot, haven't you?
No, that's
You
next.
haven't?
That's next. I just finished
Okay.
up. Stranger Things, and the 60s on Netflix. We found Quantum Leap
Yeah.
by accident, and I'm working my way through. I think I've got 3 or 4 more episodes of 11/22/63.
Okay.
So that's next.
Well, what I was getting at was Mr. Robot has a YouTube channel, and one of the videos is a 360 video. So I quickly ran and grabbed my Google Cardboard and pulled it up on my phone and watched it with the Google Cardboard.
Mhm.
And that was a trippy little video. So, I mean, it's the 360 video. You can, I pushed back in my chair so I could swivel the chair.
Mhm.
And I moved around and I'm looking at everything. And while he's talking, he's sitting on the couch talking, and I'm looking around. You can see the same set that's on the show. And then there's a knock on the door. His neighbor comes in, and they're talking, and it's a whole
Well,
experience.
that's a little more interactive. Yeah, that's kind
It
of
is.
cool.
So yeah, it was really a lot of fun to watch the thing, and it was engaging. And then next they go to a scene where there's a what you see in the show. There's a Ferris wheel,
Mhm.
and the cars are swinging really close to the next one, and it's like, wow, I'm sitting literally. It was almost like I was sitting right behind the two guys, the two people that were in there. There was a woman and the guy, and I was looking. There's literally the side of his head, just like if I was sitting in the back of a car, with my head up front, going, "Hey, what's going on?" It was really cool.
Slow down up there.
Yeah. So, the Google Cardboard is low tech, but I don't know. You can get some. It's pretty cool.
All right. Thank you, Jack. We forgot to play the out song. Yay. Another letter from our listener, Dave. We like Dave. Let's do the history thing and see how we do. It's always fun when you try this. On this day in history for August 3rd, 2016, this is the 216th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are 150 days remaining in the year. It was on this date in 1492 that Christopher Columbus set sail from Palos de la Frontera, Spain.
Who?
Paulo, over here.
That same date in 1527, the first known letter from North America is sent by John Rutt while at St. John's, Newfoundland.
Unfortunately, the post office did not show up for 3 more years, so
he just dropped it off.
he's probably asking all his friends, where's the nearest post office box?
Yeah.
The what? Robert LaSalle builds the Le Griffon, the first known ship built on the Great Lakes on this date in 1678, and they are still looking for it. There are people that believe they have found it, and then they can't verify it, and it's
like a lost ship out there, isn't it?
It is. It's still out there somewhere.
Okay. And also on this date in 1852, Harvard University wins the first boat race between Yale University and Harvard. The race is also the first American intercollegiate athletic event.
And the first award goes to Harvard. The Firestone Tire and Rubber Company is founded 116 years ago today.
And also on this date in 1936, Jesse Owens wins the 100-meter dash, defeating Ralph Metcalfe at the Berlin Olympics. What is that?
Cheering.
I thought Skype was screwing with us again. Yeah.
August 3rd, 1946, Santa Claus Land, the world's first themed amusement park, opens in Santa Claus, Indiana, United States. Disney was soon to follow.
That's right. Also on this date in 1958, the nuclear submarine USS Nautilus travels beneath the Arctic ice cap.
It was 39 years ago today the United States Senate begins its hearing on Project MK Ultra.
And 39 years ago today, Tandy Corporation announces the TRS-80, one of the world's first mass-produced personal computers.
That was 1977.
Was it? I guess
They
so.
were
Wow.
ahead of the curve.
Yeah, so they named it 80 before the 80s. Pretty good.
So they're going to come out with a trash 2020?
yeah, that's right.
Happy birthday goes out on this day to American businessman, founder of the Otis Elevator Company, Elisha Otis. Otisburg. Not that Otis. That was Jack's shirt last week. He wore his Otisburg shirt. Born on this date in 1811.
And also born in the same date in 1900, John T. Scopes, American educator.
Wasn't he related to a monkey or something?
Huh?
The Scopes trial? Never mind.
Oh, never mind. No.
Born August 3rd, 1918, Sidney Gottlieb, the American chemist and theorist.
Author Leon Uris is born today in 1924.
Uris?
Uris.
Actor
Iris.
Tony Bennett. Actor Tony Bennett bleh, turns 90 years old today.
Wait a minute. Ukrainian Russian general, pilot, astronaut Tony Bennett was born in
Whoops.
1935.
Editor, cut and paste error. No, Tony Bennett was not a Ukrainian Russian general, pilot, and astronaut. And born 2 different years.
Wow.
Oh, Charles had a wonderful morning yesterday. Actor Martin Sheen is 76.
And Martha Stewart is 75.
Actor, director, producer, and screenwriter John Landis is 66.
And the actor who played Dennis the Menace in 1950s TV show Jay North is 65.
And the man who designed the games Super Smash Bros. And Kirby, Masahiro Sakurai, is 46. Should we go to the birthday calendar for our listeners?
Yes.
Happy birthday, Johnny B. He's on
Johnny
the 3rd.
B.
Not
Hey,
a
is
honeybee.
he-
He's a Johnny B.
Yeah.
August 6th is my daughter Julie. I think I said August. I might have said July 3rd because this is recorded in July. Johnny B is August 3rd. Julie is August 6th. Philippa Ballantyne is the 8th. Matt Coe and Julia Pose are on August 9th. Happy birthday to them. And Julia's name has Technorama promo. So wait, she's on the 9th. I forgot when she recorded that promo for us, but we'll play it a little later. She says she's 11 years old. So she's probably another one of these that's long gone into college by this time. Thank you very much for all of that. If you want to be on the Technorama birthday calendar, visit our wiki at chuckchat.com/wiki. Put your name in there. We'll give you a shout out at the appropriate time of year. It doesn't even have to be your name. It could be your daughter's. It could be your parents. It could be your anniversaries in some cases that we have. It's all over the place. We would love to hear from you. We'll give you a shout out. Thank you, dear listener. You know what? We got another minute and I can't ramble on for that long. So we're going to send the band out and say, that's the way it was on this day in history for August 3rd, 2016.
Rip.
You know what? Okay, bye.
You know, I want to see Snoopy traveling right behind them with the mouth harp.
We could just play that at the end of the Dragon Con parade.
That's right.
Honestly, that would be better at the beginning.
Good news, anyone?
We have some good news. We found a use for the old Chernobyl site. Remember 1980, what was it, 6? That the reactor went critical and blew a hole in the ceiling, releasing radiation into the atmosphere. Everybody had to move away. Well, a new proposal from the Ukrainian government hopes to turn part of the wasteland around the world's largest nuclear disaster into a 60 square kilometer solar and renewable energy park. As The Guardian reports today, the Ukraine is currently seeking funding to transform unused and dangerously radioactive land into a power plant that could generate about 1,400 megawatts of power, or about a third of what the nuclear power plant could before experiencing its notorious accident.
Okay.
The proposal claims about 1,000 megawatts of that power could be generated in a massive solar park, which would make it the largest solar farm on the planet. For comparison, there's another one with a really hard to pronounce name. It covers about 23 square kilometers and has a capacity of about 850 megawatts. Meanwhile, Ivanpah Solar Power Facility, which uses concentrated solar thermal power instead of photovoltaic cells, covers about 14 square kilometers and has a capacity of 392 megawatts. Working to the project's advantage, the land within the 1,000 square kilometer exclusion zone, obviously cheap and abundant.
Yeah.
Plus, it reportedly gets strong sunlight, and the power grid infrastructure left over from the Chernobyl plant is still mostly intact. On the other hand, the proposal does not detail how the solar panels will be built and maintained in an area that is still considered to be uninhabitable. Yikes.
Well, you know, that does make a lot of sense. I never thought about the infrastructure that leads up to the Chernobyl site.
Yeah, I didn't think of the cabling and whatnot as still being intact as well. That's a great advantage, but obviously setting all that stuff up is going to require... You can't exactly fly them in with helicopters, because then the helicopters are not contaminated. You could put the people in the bunny suits, but it poses an interesting challenge. I think it's a wonderful example of what to do with that site. I mean, if people can't live there, you could... I guess you could
there
turn
are
it
some
into
people
the
that
world.
live around there still. I saw a documentary about that not too long ago.
A few. And one of my favorite articles. We're going to move on to the next story. I hope they do build that, actually. I think it makes complete sense.
I think it's a little ironic they're going from nuclear to solar now.
Renewable energy, it's the future. All you have to do is toast your land. There is an incredible collection of 400 vintage boomboxes up for sale.
Really?
Yes.
400?
If you happen to be in the market for 400 vintage boomboxes, then it's your lucky day.
Hey, wait a minute. I don't know if these on eBay.
Well, I think they're on as a collection on eBay.
No, I meant that I'm sure a lot of these are still available. I'm sure you can find some of these.
I'll bet some of them are. Craig Kenton, a New Zealander who's collected boomboxes for 15 years, is auctioning off his entire collection, and it's huge. According to Kenton, he started the bid at $20,000, but says he could easily just sell the top 20 units for that much, according to the stuff.
Really? Then do it.
Huh?
Really? Well, then do it.
I think he could probably make more selling them individually. 'Cause honestly, who's going to walk up and go, I could really use 400 boom boxes of various...
I was kidding. I said he said he could. I was like, well, why don't you?
Although he doesn't list all 400 units on the lot, he certainly has some prime kit. Like these beauties, the Sanyo Big Ben, with Japanese writing on the outside.
Like it's got a little subwoofer angled like it's...
But that's to get more resonance out of the desktop that it's sitting on.
I know. I was going to say, or your shoulder.
I learned the word resonance from
resonance.
No, that was resistance. Sorry. Basic
I learned
electricity.
resonance from Commander Data. He was talking about the...
Isn't it resonance where people... That's that movie with the zombies, right? Resident Evil? The JVC M70. Ooh, that looks almost like the one my brother had. Very, very similar. I love the rabbit ear antennas on these things. They really make them look retro.
Yeah.
You have until August 1st. Ooh, that's tomorrow after we record this.
You know, in the heyday, when boomboxes were the big thing, it's amazing some of the weird configurations that people started to come up with. I mean, like, there's some on here you'll see with square speaker grill, square speakers, a couple of tape decks, or maybe I've seen some that had like 8 speaker, exposed speakers on the front. Some weird.
You wanted the speakers down low because they were the traditional magnetic kind, and that was where the weight was. So you had to keep this thing from tipping over.
No, I'm just not talking about that. I'm just talking about the weird configurations that they would get. They would, like the one down at the bottom there. It's got 4 little subs, or I'm sorry, 2 subs and a couple of mid-range. I don't know.
I want to know if any of our listeners still have a boombox.
Yes, actually, it's in the garage. I do. It's my.
Do you use it?
Sometimes when I'm in the garage, I turn the radio on. It's a Sears. The Sears one's got 2 tape decks on it. I don't think the tape decks actually work. I think the bands probably got a little, stretched out. But yeah, still got one.
Wow. Was that your original boombox, or was that an upgrade for later?
That was the one I got for Christmas.
Okay, dear listener, this is our question of the week. We're going to call it right here. Tell us about your boombox. Do you still have it? What was your first boombox? Where did you get it? What features did it have? Me, I never owned one. I always used my brother's.
Hey, I'll tell you, this is the type of thing I was talking about. The weird features, configurations, not just the speakers and all that, but they throw in these weird features. One of them, mine was, it had 2 tape decks, and I could do high-speed dubbing.
High-speed dubbing, I remember that.
If I wanted to copy a tape, you can flip the switch, and you can do, ×2? I have to go look at it, but you would hit play and record, and of course it sounded funny, but it would record it, and I think I remember it actually working for the most part. But I would think that you would probably get some weird artifacts.
Did it have a microphone in it? Some of them had built-in microphones so you could record. They often had headphone jack and a mic jack, but the one my brother had a, I think it was a Panasonic. I could be wrong. But it had a built-in microphone, and I remember this because he had, I can't remember what tape it was, but it was a tape he made, but he forgot to punch out the Write Protect tabs. Yeah. So sometime later, we had accidentally hit record and got a whole bunch of background noise written over one of his songs.
Why do I hear Chuck talking?
Right in the middle of, like, Neil Diamond. It went with a bunch of boat background noise.
Wait, he was listening to Neil Diamond on a jam box? On a boombox? Something wrong with that picture.
Hey, it was the 80s. Anything goes.
Yeah, I was picturing more like 2 Live Crew or something. I don't know.
On that note, we're going to take a break. 2 Live Crew, were they out? No, this was early 80s, buddy. 2 Live Crew wasn't out till mid to late 80s. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with our Hacks and Strange Stories, a couple of Remember Whens, our shout out to the Patreons, and a farewell to one of our favorite actors.
Maybe he should have been jamming out to, something else.
he rolls 20 every time. He laid out plans for man to reach Mars and return safely on a cocktail napkin. The next day, it was approved. He always knows where his towel is. He is the most interesting geek in the world.
I don't always listen to podcasts, but when I do, I listen to Technorama. Stay geeky, my friends.
Hi, my name is Julia Pose, and I'm 11 years old. I love gymnastics and karate. I have to go to school, and I do all the other things normal kids do. But I'm more than that. I'm a geek. I listen to Technorama podcast. It helps me to maintain my inner geek. For your own inner geek, just go to www.chuckchat.com/Technorama. I'm ready for my download, Mr. Tomasi.
I'm guessing she's 17 or 18 now.
She's probably just finishing up college, her grad program.
We'll see if we made a lasting impact on her.
Now she's a professor.
She runs something that's going to shut us down at some point.
Yeah. Virtual podcast. 3D podcasting.
Facts and strange stories.
By the way, you were confusing me. I was trying to say Duran Duran earlier. Talking all over me.
Anyway. I did? What?
Yeah.
All right, here's a story from Oddity Central. Do you want to read one? I think I did like 2 or 3 now. If so, if not, that's fine too.
So, Italian high school students create a vending machine that turns plastic trash into plastic phone cases. How you like that?
Good
a group
idea.
of high school students from Italy have invented an awesome vending machine that grinds and uses plastic bottles and turns them into pellets, which are then formed into smartphone cases by a built-in 3D printer. That's pretty cool. Saving the planet, making the world cleaner for future generations, or just doing the right thing are powerful arguments for recycling, but the truth is some people require more materialistic incentives to actually give a darn about that. About the environment. It is a sad reality, but a group of kids have come up. It's a sad reality, but I see what you're saying. Okay, it's a sad reality, but a group of kids have come up with an ingenious, inventive way that may just get more people involved in waste recycling. A vending machine that eats up plastic trash and turns it into stylish cases for a variety of popular smartphone models. So Marco Tomasello, I see why you put him in here. Sounds like your last name.
It's Italian.
He's Italian. Daniele
Caputo.
I'm not going to read all those names.
Vincenzo Veruso.
Students
Vittorio
and their teacher.
Maggiore. Tony. Okay.
They were looking for an efficient way of getting more youth more involved in environmental conservation when they came up with the idea for My Pro Action device. My Pro Action is the name of the device. It looks like a regular vending machine, only instead of money, it accepts plastic bottles and releases stylish smartphone cases in return. So the ingenious device breaks down the plastic waste into small pellets, which are then used by the built-in 3D printer to create cases of various designs. It is not clear whether the cases are created on the spot or after someone introduces a certain amount of plastic, excuse me, or if they can select one of the pre-made cases.
Okay.
I suspect it may be the latter. That's the article.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you dumped in a green bottle and a red bottle and a clear bottle, you're not necessarily going to get the most stylish case. After it grinds them up and melts them down, it says, well, looks like you're getting orange. Well, probably not.
My thought is, what if somebody drops in some bottles that aren't the right type of material to print with? So I would think that you could use this as a as a collection device, and for so many different bottles, like you put 5 bottles in, it would print you a case, just out of the regular plastic that's in there. I don't know.
It's interesting. This would be an interesting research to find out, how do you know if they put in bottles or if they put in cans? It just, can you game the system? Or they did to make it really smart.
Put some bottles in, hold a string on it, and you can pull the bottle back out. Like a couple of quarters.
One bottle, ching. Pull
But
it
I'll
back.
give credit. This is a great idea. I think it's
a terrific idea.
Mm-hmm.
Very ingenious.
Wait.
Yes?
Wait a minute. Look at the machine. Tell me what's wrong with that picture.
Oh, I gotta get the machine back up here. It's got a big video screen on it.
Yeah, look below it. Look at the designs.
Yes.
Look at the bottom right one.
There's a Marlboro phone case.
It looks like a Marlboro cigarette pack.
Yeah, that's believable.
So we have 6, 7,
Don't
8,
smoke,
9, 10.
kids.
We've got 11. We got 11 phone cases and or a pack of cigarettes. You choose. No, it's a neat idea.
Don't smoke, kids. All right, we want to give a shout out to the chat room.
Hey, or
Yes.
don't light your phone case on.
We have Craig, Mad Marv, you, me, and Ben. And I suspect Keith is sitting there with Ben also. So, welcome, chat room. We do this show live every week. Well, every week that we're around on Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern Time. We'd love to see you join us. You can participate in the antics that go on before, during, and after the show, like trying to hook up the audio.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I do want to say one thing. Speaking of listeners in my IRC channel, I keep thinking of Mark Shepard because he used to be in there all the time. And I pinged him on Twitter last week saying, get in our IRC chat room. Well, guess what? He was actually in the hospital.
Oh, no.
I think he was going through like a bypass of some sort. I have no idea because I just saw what I saw online. So, hope he's doing well and hope to hear back from him because we don't want to lose you, man.
Nope. Hope to hear back from you soon, Mark. Best wishes. Get well soon. All right. If you want to join us, you can join us every week at our webpage, chuckjet.com/technorama/webcam. Just click the webcam picture there. You'll see it. Live video stream and live chat, which Craig graciously set up. And we're trying to remember how to run IRC after about 5 years off.
Well, what's amazing is when we first set it up, I remembered how to use it then. Now I got to remember.
I know. I got to remember all the slash commands and maybe get with Gru to find out what our passwords were. Get them reset.
Was it slash action, slaps, Ben Raggington with a wet fish? Remember that? One of those action commands.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I thought you were just being cruel, but you're being for real. There. And we had a fridge bot. You could put things in the
remember
fridge.
that. I wrote that, and that was fun because people could put things in it and take things out.
We'll have to see when we resurrect that.
It's kind of like playing an Infocom game.
After Dragon Con, we'll get that resurrected.
Look fridge.
Open fridge. Inventory.
Yeah, it was the inventory fridge.
Put beer in fridge.
That's right.
Take rotten cabbage from fridge. All right, we got Remember When time. Woohoo! Once upon a time, electric cars were a real thing. Many years ago. The overhead wire electric car. Now, you may think of overhead wire electric cars like those transit buses in maybe San Francisco. Well, the electric carriage, which appeared in July 27th, 1889 issue of Scientific American, was way ahead of its time. How ahead of its time was it? Oh, that was your line. How ahead of its time was it? South Dakota wasn't even a state yet. Yikes. The article that went along with it noted the patent for this ingenious contraption was granted to one Mr. Harvey D. Dibble of Rapid City, Dakota territory. Of course, North and South Dakota weren't the only things that hadn't been invented yet. Newfangled contraptions like the freewheeling internal combustion automobile were still a few years out. As you can see from the illustration that we've shown on the live webcam, oh, sorry, audio listener, you're going to have to go watch. The vehicle was essentially an electric car powered by overhead electric wires. It had some mobility in that it needed to avoid an obstacle. The driver could steer it out of the way and still be connected to the electricity above. Pretty darn neat. From the 1889 article of Scientific American, the accompanying illustration represents the applications of a system of electrical propulsion for common roads by means of which traffic is designed to be carried on without employing a railroad track. The steering gear being so arranged that the wagon will automatically run parallel with the line of the conductors. It has been patented by Mr. Harvey D. Dibble of Rapid City, Dakota Territory. That's just fun to say. The wagon body to which this improvement is applied is partly supported by the caster on a caster wheel provided with a fork journaled in the forward end of an extension of the frame of the body. Upon the rear axle, in this case carrying the drive wheels, is mounted a spur wheel engaged by a pinion on the armature shaft. Wow, they go through the whole technical specifications in this thing. Sounds like the retro encabulator at some point.
Oh my gosh, yes. Almost forgot about that thing.
I still have all the punch cards for it.
Yeah.
Milford Trenions. Sorry. Go, if you don't know what we're talking about, go search on YouTube for Retro Encabulator. It is the best BS job of technology I've ever seen. Anyway,
it'll make you want to buy one.
Plenty of cities would see versions of this kind of mass transit invade their cities, of course. Most ambitiously, perhaps, on the trolley buses that would serve London starting in the 1930s. But this was the first vision of this specific type of transportation that I'm aware of showing up anywhere in print. So hats off to you, Mr. Dibble, resident of a Dakota Territory.
I got a question.
Yes.
I want you to think hard. And maybe, do we got a question of the week? Because I think this could be a good one.
Yeah, we want people to tell us about their boombox.
Okay, the boombox. Anyway, I'm going to throw this out here, too. If anybody wants to call in on this. Imagine, if you will, what the world would be like if we stayed within the constraints of electricity and built cars only in that set of parameters, electricity, and didn't come up with a combustion engine for cars. How do you think the world would be now?
Let's save that for our Patreon show. How about that? Because I have some thoughts on that.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, we'll get the listeners to contribute in on that also. But if you want to hear Craig's and my thoughts, that's for the patrons, of which I think it's almost time. No, one more story, then I'll thank them.
Hey, and you're welcome to be a patron, too.
Yes, we're going to get there in just a moment.
We invite you.
I'm going to delete the question that we're going to talk about this week. So replace that in there. Script change on the fly. All right. Also in the Remember When, the Nash. Remember the car company Nash?
I love that band in the 80s.
I think, no. That was Crosby, Stills, Nash, and sometimes Young.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was thinking of Clash. Okay. Go ahead.
Rock the Cat's Paw.
That's right.
Well, they turned 100 just a few days ago, and here are several reasons why it may be the most influential car company ever. Okay. Nash Motors would have been a century old this past week, and while I suspect that most modern gearheads probably don't give Nash much thought, they really should. For a defunct car company, we still feel Nash's influence a surprising amount in ways that are pretty basic and fundamental to how cars are today. Let's pretend we're all old dudes in bad shirts at car shows and take a bit to appreciate the bejesus out of Nash in 6 huge ways. Unibody construction. I'm not going to read all the way through this. You can follow the show note links if you like. They came around with unibody construction, flow-through ventilation, and modern car HVAC systems.
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, me too. A new Nash Miracle, the Weather Eye conditioning system. And they have some graphics and whatnot on here. Seat belts. Now, while lap belts at least, Volvo and those safety-loving Swedes introduced the modern 3-point harness in 1958, but 9 years earlier, in 1949, Nash was offering lap belts as an option for the cars. Sure.
Yeah, and actually, well, I was going to say, actually, I think in a lot of cases, the seat belt was pretty progressive for anybody to have for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, the lap belt didn't save you much, but it was better than sending you through the windshield.
Hey, and people go, I'm not even using it.
Yeah. It'll wrinkle my dress.
That's right.
Here's one that I like. Reclining seats and car sleeping. Nash was a pioneer in subtle and beautiful art sleeping in your car.
And we can do that today. Well, I can do it in the back of my truck, but
Well, the cars back then were the size of a truck.
pretty much.
And I can just see some teenage boy going, "Hey, Dad, we should get one of those cars with the bed in it. Then we could sleep on road trips. And when I take my girlfriend out."
Oh, hey, I like this. Nash moved into new in-car slumber system. In-car slumber.
In-car slumber. The airline seats would recline flat and would be, the airliner. Muscle cars. Okay, this one's pretty contested, but Nash can make a reasonable claim to have one of the first true muscle cars, the Rambler Rebel.
If you're talking muscle car, is in just pure power,
guess
maybe.
The model standing next to the car looks like she has a headache or something. Not exactly the most sensual pose. And compact cars. Well, sort of, but they were smaller.
Muscle cars to compact cars.
Right. I don't think I can credit Nash with the first American really compact car, since Crosley was building some seriously compact cars in America since 1939, but Nash was the first American company to build them in real quantity. And the way it built them presaged the modern, very international auto industry.
Hey, you know what's funny is Ben Rackington, he's in here, he says one of his comments was the picture almost makes Nash look like an old Hudson. Well, in the article it said Nash bought Hudson. So yes, there's probably a reason for that. It said it. I just happened to glance and saw that. Oh yeah,
you're right. It does look like a Hudson. My parents used a Hudson to drive from Upper Michigan to Lower Michigan right after they were married. I had to go find a picture of that.
It says they bought Hudson in 1954.
That's probably why it looks like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you, patrons. So this show is brought to you by you, the wonderful patrons we have. We need some patron music. Where is it? Was that it? There it is. Thank you, patrons. You get a special episode every week just for you. Well, except last time when Craig posted the wrong show to the feed, but that's what you could have. Maybe that was a sneak preview. You get us doing special content as a thank you because you are contributing to our show to make it happen. Things like promoting our specials, going on road trips to astronomy places. What do they call them? Observatories. That's what it is. Like the place where they fly planes by those plane flying guys. Sorry. Now I'm just making a joke. Never.
I'm having trouble following along.
All right, let's give a thank you to the people. Kyle Nishioka. Was he our first patron member? I think he was number one. Mike Wills, Steve Therian, Saturday Morning Media, Chris MC, Alexis Duran, Ben Vaughn, Dennis Patnod, Nick St. Gabriel, and our latest and greatest, Amy Bowen. Thank you to all of you, and we wish more people would join, really. If you want to join, you can... Yes?
Hey, let's just be honest here.
Right.
Yes, join.
Help support this show because we need all the support we can get. You can go to patreon.com/Technorama podcast. And there are various levels of donation. We are just about ready to send out our super thank yous. And, of course, you get your special after show that we talk about. So, thank you very much. That was the thank you part. Now
maybe we can take some of the older Patreon shows and start putting them on our feed a little bit and see what people think.
If it's not too dated, I don't remember what we talked about. Sometimes it's like a movie review.
All our 11 years of catalog podcasting should be fresh.
I thought you meant the Patreon shows.
Hey, where can I find some good information about?
Well, we only have like 6 months of that.
Sure, why not throw a couple of those?
And out of the 6 months, we don't have 26 full episodes. We have, because we missed a bunch. Anyway, Media Corner time. I'm going to throw in a bullet. No, we're running a little short on time. I'm not going to add a bullet in the show right now, but we have some bad and unfortunate news, which you may have already picked up on. Jerry Doyle, the man who played Mr. Garibaldi on Babylon 5, has passed away at the tender age of 60.
Wow. That was kind of surprising. I don't know if he had some problem or anything, medical problem. But wow.
No, he did a number of other shows, but doesn't say what the cause of death was in here. It just still says
That's
his
what I'm
cause
saying.
of death is unknown.
I mean, he was kind of young. He was 60. I'm just unless he had something, medical issue or something.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
He'll be
That's
missed.
terrible.
Did you watch Babylon 5?
I'm aware of it. No, I haven't watched it. I never watched it.
I've watched a number of episodes. I have not watched them all, but I am slowly but surely making my way through that.
I was unfortunately in the camp where there was Deep Space Nine and this, and I went, "Oh, let's watch Deep Space Nine." Well, I didn't realize how technically related they were as far as the writers and stuff. I think there was a writer. I'm sure Ben's going to call me out on it, but there was a writer that pitched that, or the showrunner pitched the idea, and as Deep Space Nine, and they didn't go for it, and they ended up making Deep Space Nine, which is something similar to Babylon 5.
In that it's a space station.
No, yeah, well, you got, I don't know. There's some similarities there. I think it was.
And you're
ongoing.
next to the jump gate or the wormhole, so yeah, okay, kind of.
Yeah, there was some. There's a lot of similarities there that are a little too uncanny. I think that was a source of pain between the two camps. So anyway, I was more in the Star Trek Deep Space Nine field than I was Babylon 5. Maybe I should go back and watch it. Does it date? Is it dated?
Oh, it's getting a little dated. With
Yeah.
the the CGI is still pretty good. The sets and I don't know, not makeup, hairstyle, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's showing its age. I mean, they had a limited budget for that stuff.
Yeah.
It's still a fun show to watch. I mean, it's like going back and watching the original Terminator. You know, they put in all this music that they would try to make futuristic, but it just dated the show. Like, more Vangelis.
Oh, by the way, so Ben says his cause of death has not been announced. Although he nearly died a few years ago from a serious mugging that left him with a metal plate in his head. Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go on to something a little more entertaining then.
Hey, by the way, we're still in the media corner. I got to throw this out there. If you hadn't seen it, you know we're fans of Futurama here. Go see that live looking.
Oh, the
Futurama.
trailer. Yeah.
Apparently, they're going to release. I don't know how long it is. But they're going to release the entire story this fall.
I just hope it has a story behind it or something in line. That same intelligent level humor that the show is known for.
Well, I will find the article where they actually talked to the creators, and they said they spent a lot of time writing the script. So I'm hoping that means that they spent some time, making something interesting to watch.
Interview. Reach out to him, Craig.
I may. Yeah, I'll see if I can track him down. Yeah,
Go for it. It can't hurt to ask. That's the one thing we've learned through podcasting.
No, I'm trying to figure out how to contact him, but I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Woohoo! All right, finally.
To-do list. Like I got nothing else to do.
Part of getting something done is delegating. You could always throw it back in my face.
I was going to say, Chuck, that was a great idea. Go for it.
All right, our final thing is in the media. The Geek Library. That's what it is. With this Babylon 5 kind of sounding music.
They just opened the Geek Library.
Did you ever play the computer game Oregon Trail?
Yeah, a long time ago.
I think if I look hard enough,
died of dysentery.
in this closet behind me, there may be a floppy disk that I can use on that computer over there.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was really tempted to go digging this afternoon, but I did not make that effort this time. Redditor DW Bosso, or Duboso, made an amazing discovery at the Target store, or at least it's amazing if you grew up playing the computer game during the 70s and 80s and 90s. Pressman Toys has created a card game version of the dysentery plagued classic, the Oregon Trail.
Hey, this is the only time that you'll find dysentery funny. Right? Right?
I would agree.
How many times have you let it dysentery except for when it was on Oregon Trail?
It's kind of like Exploding Kittens in a way.
Yeah.
It's the early version. The Oregon Trail that includes all the terrible diseases, maladies, and calamities that wiped out your pioneer family time after time. Based on the computer game that dates all the way back to 1971.
What? Was it that old?
Wow. I would have put it in the early 80s. I didn't realize it was that old. It must have been like a text adventure at first. Huh. I guess the way you played it was more like a text adventure, but we had a little wagon train that moved along the map at least.
Yeah, there was a little graphics on it.
That must have come along later. The card game version comes with trail cards, calamity cards, supply cards, and dry erase board full of tombstones so you can mark down which players have died. Although it would probably be easier just to keep tabs on those who are still alive. There are more photos of the card game available on Imager, but Pressman Toys has also pointed us towards the official video detailing how the game is played. You know, this kind of reminds me of that mining game we found on a ski trip one time.
You know what? We should get a copy of this and play it at DragonCon.
Card game will be available starting August 1st as a Target exclusive for $15. So, if you've got one more weekend to wait, okay, well, it'll be out by the time you listen to this.
Yeah.
Fun nostalgia trip. Weren't we going to play a mini adventure game or something? Wasn't Scott thinking of setting up a campaign for the weekend?
Oh, DragonCon?
Yeah.
I don't know, was he?
We
hasn't said anything to me.
We can see if we can find this. We can see if we can find this in time.
Hey, by the way,
put it on your
Ben
to-do list.
Raggington in the chat room says, you know, I guess he's referring to me saying that, you know, dysentery is never funny. And he says, unless it shows up in Cards Against Humanity.
What if you cross this game with Cards Against Humanity?
You know, I'm seriously, I'd be tempted to go grab a copy. You have to play it with me though if I get it.
And we are going to play Mad Magazine. I don't know if I can pack that one or not. But,
man, that's right.
The Mad Magazine game will live again at some point in this household. All right, I think that's the end of our notes. Question of the week is, tell us about your boombox. We already got that out in the air. You want to tell us about it, you can call us like Jack did.
Hey, or if you still got it, send pictures.
Oh, even better. 707-530-CHAT. We'll put them on the show. 707-530-2428. We'd love to hear from you. I think it's about time we update the template on this thing to take out the crossed out old number.
I think we can take it out.
3 months. Okay. Or email us, technorama@chuckchat.com. If you want to email us those pictures, that'd be even better. Technorama@chuckchat.com. Find all this information. And Gamore. I know there's a silent letter in there somewhere. And more. More at chuckchat.com/Technorama. Well, you never know where the silent letters are, right? Until you read them, and then you don't know how to pronounce the word when you have read it. There's always that rift. English is a terrible language, isn't it?
No, I love it.
Sure.
Confusing.
All right,
it's confusing.
How do you say the country name Holland?
Holland.
Okay, since when does the letter A have the same sound as an I? Or maybe a soft U.
Hey,
okay.
You need to come and hang out in South Carolina for a week.
That's even better. Till next time, give me a binary high five.
101.
And he did that in Southern.
Right. Y'all.
And the y'all takes it at the end of the show. File, save as. Episodes, Google Drive, Technorama, episodes. This is 479?
Yes.
Say goodbye to the chat room.
All right. Thanks.
All right, thanks, chat room. Bye. You guys are awesome. No show next week, but we'll be back.
Why not?
Why? Because I'm going to